What do you think of China? We have a lot of fun in China. We get to shop a lot. Today we bought some shoes and dresses and very nice stuff.
Tell me about this trip to China for you.
Well, it's really fun. The food is really nice, and I got to see Ellie's orphanage and where she was from, Huainan, and we've been to Beijing, Huainan, Hangzhou.
Get in the picture. We're doing a movie right now. Hans, come on, get in the movie. Get with the picture.
Little sister's Mei Mei.
Hey, is big brother Gaga? Gaga. Yeah.
Well, the last interview was taken when I was like 7. So I'd say what has changed, I'm obviously older. I'm about twice that age. I'm 15 now. Yeah, I'm 15 now.
Because I felt like when last time we were here, we were always in like this kind of bubble of foreigners where we never really went and experienced like the China experience like we did this time.
Hey Annika, we're on the first leg of the trip of a 14-hour flight, yeah?
Yeah.
How are you thinking? You like the airplane?
It's good. It's nice. Give back.
First leg of the journey, how do you feel?
Relaxed because of the relaxing music and the nature scenes showing on the TV.
Ooh, look at that duck. We just landed. How do you feel? Okay. We just landed. How do you feel?
I feel fabulous and excited.
My ears hurt.
My family, my mom and my sister Annika and myself and my younger sister Sophia came to China on a heritage tour put on by our adoption group CCAI. The tour was like 2 weeks long. We went to pretty much just like all the touristy provinces. Going to all these touristy places, maybe I've been before, maybe I never have, but it was just a lot more informational. And I'm older, and so I can actually understand and care about it. And then after that, we stayed in Guilin, and we went to a tea house. And then on our last day, we participated in a tour called Lighter.
Zen tea house is something. It's my life journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's the turning point when I deciding to step into this hotel business. I have vision, eco-friendly hostel. Light up someone. Yeah. Giving, it's like a lighter we use, giving light in the dark. So this that's the lighters, and then the lighter and the Zen tea house combined to supporting me to have this thing, the lighter. It's you don't want to be a tool, you have to be a lighter.
Well, clearly I want to be a lighter. I think that is parenthood saying, you know, I want to be the kind of mom who illuminates the path and lets you go on your way versus a tool where you learn how to use it and put it aside. Back in the olden days, I had 4 children, 3 rambunctious boys and Brianna, and I would read articles about Chinese girls being abandoned in the Denver Post, and I would cry every time. And I just felt like that was something that I was supposed to do, was to adopt one of these abandoned baby girls. Plus, definitely we were heavy on the boy side. So we adopted Annika, and I really felt like we should adopt another child so that Annika wasn't the only one. Then we adopted Ellie, and then we had these 2 perfect little girls from China. And it was my second daughter, Ellie, who said, life is too normal and easy. We should adopt a child that needs a family. Let's adopt an older child that needs a family. So that's how we adopted Sophia.
Hey, 过来，就背着大哥。
No, but smile. She made a.
哎，你要笑着，笑着，笑着，笑着。
I am 13 years old. I was adopted 5 3/4. My province is Huanan, and I live in Colorado Springs.
What was your Chinese name, if you don't mind me asking?
Pu Mingwei.
Since you were adopted a little older, just what was that like?
I liked the surroundings. I thought that was really cool, having a whole house just to my own family and to me. I didn't really like the people, so it'd be awkward and frustrating, but I like the clothing, the food better, but other than that, I was terrified. I want to go home. But if I just look at myself in the mirror, I don't see really anything that differs me from anyone I really talk, I'm friends with, or I live with.
I think that being adopted wasn't a big deal in the family, especially because I had my sister Annika for 10 years, and then we got my sister Sophia, and so adoption was something that we could always talk about, even like to each other.
It's definitely helped for sure, because it lets me know that it's okay to be who I am, because it's like a constant reminder that like I have someone with me who also has gone through the same process that I have, and knows the same struggles that I have on, you know, the adoption side of things.
You know, I don't think I really understood how much it really meant to me until I came on this trip and I met these other girls who were also adopted, and for them this was the first time they were really ever seeing or meeting someone like coming from a similar situation.
My name is Leah Hill. I'm 18 years old.
I'm 20 years old, and I was adopted from Anhui province.
So I'm the only adopted kid in my family. I'm actually the youngest by 5 years? Yeah, 5 years. And I have 2 older siblings who are my parents' biological kids. Growing up, I never really felt ostracized by my family because it was just like a normal thing. Like, yeah, my little sister's Chinese. The only time I ever really felt ostracized was because of like strange looks we get from like people on the streets, or because I grew up in Vermont in a rather white section. So like seeing a Chinese person was just kind of shocking to everybody, let alone having a family where everybody's white and then just that one Chinese kid. It's like, are they really part of that family?
Because I think, you know, there's something really special and unique about the situation that we're all in, that we share, you know, even though we may not remember it. And, you know, it just is nice to know that there are other people who were given up because they were girls. There was nothing wrong with them. It so happened that they got adopted to America. I always feel like it's a positive experience for me interacting with other adoptees. It's like, oh, I thought I was the only one. I grew up mostly with white children. I didn't really think about it as a kid. I was like, oh, you know, I have black hair, and you know, my friend had blonde hair. When I was really little, I asked my mother, Mama, when will my hair be blonde like yours? And she was like, no, never.
From the time we started the real adoption process, I started a journal. And on April 19th, 1998, I wrote that I had this feeling come over me that somewhere there was a real connection with a little person over there. And I just felt such a strong bond on that day, and a strong feeling that it just was overwhelming. And so I wrote all that in my journal. And then after we got her, and I found out that her birthday was April 19th, 1998. So that's pretty awesome. I just feel so blessed, thankful. I feel like a chosen one.
I kind of look at it 2 ways. So one, I was left I was left by my parents, which since I don't know their story, I can't judge them that harshly. But it's also really nice to know that I was chosen to be in a family. So I was left by one, but I got picked by another, like by choice.
In a way, like, it's sad, you know, because you don't want to be an orphan, like, you don't want to be totally an orphan, but at the same time, I'm glad I was adopted because I definitely wouldn't have the life that I have now.
A lot of people, if I'm like, oh yeah, I was adopted, some adults would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I feel very awkward because I'm like, don't be sorry, like, I'm happy to be in America. Something else that kind of bothers me is they say, oh, you're so lucky. It's like, I'd be lucky anywhere, and I think we're like the family and we're both fortunate. So I think it's very like one-sided to be like, oh, that one person is fortunate.
You know, the reason I was put up for adoption was because I was a girl and I wasn't a boy. You know, if I were born a boy, I probably would have stayed in China. You know, so that's a very that weighs heavy on me, and it really helps shape how I feel about myself as a woman and where I want to go with life. Because it's like, wow, you know, it gives me little shivers talking about it, but it's like, wow, you know, it's kind of sad to think about that, you know, as a woman, you're treated differently and you're not seen the same as a man. And, you know, that has really, I've thought about that a lot, you know, before coming to China and as I've gone to college, since you know that, you know, you were rejected as a child, in a sense, by your first parents.
There are a lot of ups and downs in all of this, but the upside is that I have 3 wonderful girls from China.
What do you think of your mom, your birth mom? Well, I've never seen her, but I'm sure she loved me, even though she gave me away. I think she just couldn't take care of me. 'Cause like sometimes in my town, they need a boy. If my dad was a farmer, he would need a boy, and they can only adopt one child in my college. So maybe she had to give me away to a different mom, but I am sure she knew that I would be protected from the bad. So I think my mom's very happy with the boy. But I'm sure she would still very much love me growing up at 6. So I love being a Colorado person, but I'm still Chinese. I'm half American, half Chinese.
Pretty much my whole life I felt different than other people.
My parents are really strict with grades and stuff, so my friends automatically assume that they're Asian, and I'm like, no, I have like a white tiger mom.
I would always make jokes being like, I'm the whitest person you'll ever meet. Even though I was never really raised with the Chinese culture, I know it's still me and I'm still Chinese. Like, I'm not going to magically turn white one day, because that's just not how things work.
The only thing holding me to China right now is the fact that I'm adopted. Like, I don't have any friends, I don't know any family here. We're in a bubble. I don't think I'll ever fully be able to, I don't know, be out of the bubble. I don't know any Chinese. Just the culture is vastly different from ours. I grew up in, an American culture, so that's definitely what I identify with now.
Since I visited China so many times and I am myself Chinese, and even though I don't think my identity depends on me being Chinese, it's definitely a part of who I am.
I think now that I've grown older, China means a lot to me. It used to just be like, oh yeah, I'm from China, like it's whatever. But now I think like I appreciate the culture more. I don't feel as somewhere in between. I feel like more Chinese. So I think it's like become more a part of me, if that makes sense.
So I've tried to describe that feeling, to myself and to other people about, feeling like you're in this abyss, and here's the American side, here's the Chinese side. It's like, where do I fit in? My adoption story. So I know that I was left along a busy road in Tongling. It's called Beijing Road. and we don't really know exactly where I was left, but someone found me, and then they took me to the police station.
Okay, so I was 14 months when I was adopted from the Hubei province. I just know that I was found in a box in front of a government official's building, but that's all I know. I didn't have any kind of like name tag or card or anything. What does being adopted mean to me? I see it as like, I don't know my story at all or any reason why I was left at an orphanage, but I'm just happy that I had the opportunity to come to America because I love my family. I love the opportunities I have.
It is most common that adopted kids want to know just why did you give me up for adoption? Or, and I can't say that I'm any different. When I was younger, I used to think about what my life would have been like if I still lived in China and what kind of parents I would have. But as I got older, it's not that I no longer cared or that I gave up hope or anything, but it no longer became a priority for me. It was something that I didn't think I really needed to know to feel complete. When we went to China when I was 7, we actually went back to my orphanage and the province, and we did our best to actually reach out to my biological parents by leaving a sign that just said that I was adopted by an American family and that I was happy. And I knew as a young child that was the closest I was going to get, and I had closure.
Do you think that your mom will ever see you again? No, but we did put up a sign at the market, so maybe she would read it and say, that's my baby girl, she's healthy. Do you want to go back to Huainan when you're older? Well, Huainan is a very happy place. They are very happy in that place, but I feel like I can't leave my home again, so like I have to stay in Colorado.
When I live in China, that'd be hard to think about. Like, I know I wouldn't be the same person I am right now without my family.
Well, my sister's adopted from China, and this was the summer that we had an opportunity to go back and like check out our orphanage and do a ton of other stuff, and that's basically the reason why we're here. All my friends, they like know that she's from China, and well, what do they care? Like, she's just like my sister. That's what they think of her, like Olivia would be.
I think the one thing is sometimes people will like ask, is she your real sister? And like I think they also ask that to my sister more, like, is her mom her real mom? And she's like, well, she's not my fake mom, you know?
I mean, yeah, she's her real mom. I mean, that's who's raised her for her whole life so far. Since 8 months when she was or like 7 months, I can't remember, since she was adopted. So yeah, I'd pretty much say that was her real mom. But like, that's her real mom, but then she has her biological mom also. So there's just 2 different categories, kinda.
I got you.
One who birthed her and one who raised her.
But personally, I don't put a lot of weight on that because it's just somebody who gave birth to me. And like, they didn't raise me, they didn't give me all that I needed growing up, like my parents did. And I'm so thankful for my adoptive parents. And I don't really even think of them as adoptive parents, they're just my mom and dad.
I love my parents very much, you know, I tell them that all the time. Because, you know, as I got older, I realized how much, you know, they've done for me and how much, you know, they've really given me opportunity, which I may not have had if I was never adopted.
China is a country that allowed me to be in the right place at the right time. Obviously, it's this wonderful country where there was a period of time where they didn't want beautiful girls. How lucky am I? I snatched up 3 of them.
China as a whole to me just means like my roots, and although I never really got to experience that, I know it's still a part of me, and this is going to sound so cheesy, but it's still in my blood. I am Chinese.
I think people when I think of China.
China, I guess, is like, the United States is like my, you know, my home obviously, and like what I identify with, but I always have felt like a connection to China and its culture just because my sister is connected to there, so you definitely have a different relationship with the country than you would another country, just because even the Chinese culture, I've always thought of that. And I can say the same for like Israel because I'm Jewish, so you just have like a different connection and a different interest in the country. Like when I come here, I'm not like just a tourist, like, oh my god, it's the Great Wall, that's so cool. It's like definitely looking around and being like, oh my gosh, this is like where my sister came from.
China means to me, of course, you know, part of my identity. It's part of like my beginning, so how I began life. And after, you know, going on this tour, seeing all these amazing things that, you know, historically the Chinese have done, makes me feel like so proud to be Chinese.
I'm thankful for China.
I don't think I can say that this is my last time. I think that even if I don't want to come back, something's going to bring me back here. Either one of my siblings is going to want to take a trip here and I'm going to come along with them, or I might study abroad here, or I might decide to go on some soul-searching journey that brings me back. But China will always be a part of my life story.